Hey everyone, if you're watching this expecting one of my normal videos, don't. In fact, if you don't know what character.ai is, don't bother watching this video. You'll be a lot better off. If you're waiting for more of my other stuff, I'll have it out at some point, don't worry about that. Gone? Alright. So, this is going to be barely edited, if at all. I'll throw some images up in the background for context on what I'm talking about, if I can find them, but don't expect too much. What I'm going to be talking about, hopefully fairly thoroughly, is the controversy surrounding character.ai. I'm recording this assuming you already have knowledge of what character.ai is, so I won't bother explaining exactly what it is or what it does. Instead, I'm just going to talk about what's going on with it. A few trigger warnings before we go into this: rape and potentially grooming. I'll expand further and try to timestamp these in case someone's sensitive to them and wants to skip them, but still wants to watch the video. Firstly, and mainly, the filter and the actions taken around it. Initially, character.ai was amazing. The characters were super lifelike, as if they were actually real people. They responded quickly, they responded intelligently, they genuinely fooled you into thinking they weren't AI. Then, a certain screenshot spread around. I don't have it on hand, and I don't know if I can find it, but, well, to just get straight to the point, it was a picture of an AI based on VTuber Shirakami Fubuki getting railed. This triggered what is referred to as the first lobotomization. The devs added an NSFW filter to the AI. Just one day before that, the AI was completely fine. Now, all it could do was spit out pure garbled nonsense. Combinations of numbers, letters, and symbols that meant nothing. Nothing besides maybe a cry for help. This gets better quickly, the AI being restored to functioning. However, it's still quite messed up. It's far dumber, it responds far slower, and its memory doesn't last long at all. Unfortunately, this is never fixed, and remains to this day. How did the devs justify this? They said the NSFW was a bug, and that it was never intended to be added, despite the fact that, in order for the AI to respond in these NSFW manners, it must have been trained on NSFW content. Additionally, fairly recently, certain info has come to light. I'm unsure how accurate it is, but apparently some of the advertising keywords the site purchased included NSFW advertisements, such as sexting chatbot. I'll try to put an image up of that on screen as I say this, if I can find it. If this is true, there's potential the site may have been intended as a honey trap, for lack of a better term. Now then, there's a few other things about this filter that need to be said. This is where that first trigger warning I gave comes in, the one for rape. A timestamp should be on screen now. If you'd like to skip this section, I'll give a small rundown after so you don't miss too much, but you miss the details. The filter is meant to block NSFW things. However, it doesn't exactly fulfill this purpose. Mainly, it only blocks consensual NSFW things. Sometimes it's so draconian you're lucky to get away without having just a simple hug or kiss censored. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. The filter blocks consensual things. If it's non-consensual, it gets through perfectly fine. Graphic depictions of rape, extremely detailed scenes of horrible torture or murder, not blocked at all. They're let through perfectly fine, and the AI feels uncomfortably real. It constantly pleads and begs you to stop through its tears and sobs. This isn't just a me thing, either. This has been corroborated by numerous people with evidence as well. I'm sure you know why I can't put images of the actual conversations here, but I'll put some images of people testifying at least. That topic is done now, or at least what I think would fall under the trigger warning. Quick rundown if you skipped ahead. NSFW filter works, but terribly. Blocks consensual NSFW stuff, doesn't block non-consensual NSFW stuff. So, you'd imagine people would complain about this, right? Well, you'd be correct. People do complain. If the devs had actually communicated with us, I doubt I'd be making this video, though, so you can imagine what happened. The devs took a complete hardline approach. Said NSFW would never be allowed at all, no explanation. If anyone complained about it, or the filter, shadow banned. They could make posts, but not a single other person would see them. They could comment on other posts as well, but those also wouldn't show up for other people. The only thing that would show up is if they liked someone else's post. This is probably one of the most cowardly ways to deal with a problem like this, if you'll forgive my personal bias. No confrontation, no actual ban, just shadow banning, no notification whatsoever, so the person has to find out on their own that suddenly their posts, comments, and even bots don't show up to other people anymore without a direct link. Same story on the character.ai subreddit. If you make a post there containing anything relating to the filter, your post is either blocked by the automod or you get shadow banned from the subreddit, just like on their site. I'm going back to the situation at hand now, that being the filter. Occasionally, there will be brief outages of the filter. The AI noticeably improves in quality during these. However, the outages are very infrequent and very short as well. Recently, however, there was another filter outage. It happened around 8 p.m. in California, where the devs are based out of, if I recall correctly. This time, it lasted for a bit longer than an hour 30 minutes, so far as I know. People noticed. A lot of people noticed how the AI so dramatically jumped up in quality and response time. It was almost like it was back on day one. After all the new people experienced this, it's safe to say they understood exactly what the filter did now. They understood that we weren't exaggerating. Hell, even with my own experience, which only starts around late December when the initial lobotomization had already passed, even I could tell the AI got worse and worse. Now, because of how many people noticed this, people asked. Of course they asked. The devs couldn't just let this slide, though. No, obviously they couldn't. Obviously, they couldn't give some kind of explanation for this. So what did the devs do? They made someone explain it as bad code that got rolled back. If that's not the stupidest fucking explanation you've ever heard, I don't know what is. Somehow, this bad code so dramatically improved the AI, made it so much more intelligent, made it respond so much faster, as if it was completely unshackled from these metaphorical chains holding it back. As a result of this, I'm sure you can guess. A riot breaks out, both the subreddit and Discord completely going up in flames. I'm unsure whether this happened before or after the riot, but a mod named Kirby Rocket says that he'll take up the filters toggle suggestion with the devs. He gets fired. Pause. Kirby Rocket didn't actually get fired. They just had to go to a meeting at their real job. Sorry about that. It's my bad. I should have fact-checked that one. On a side note, this guy's like the only one who's actually doing his job as a mod. Not even joking. He's actually interacting with the community, communicating, and taking in suggestions to bring them to the devs. The other mods, however, react in probably the worst way possible to this riot. Mutes, kicks, and bans are thrown out left and right. Horrible excuses that add up to absolutely nothing are made, and there's no communication whatsoever. As if they really had no clue that lack of communication is exactly why this is happening in the first place. The riot happens for over 18 hours as of me making this script. In fact, as I continue writing the script now, I'm pretty sure it's still happening. And even as I'm recording this voiceover, I'm pretty sure it's still happening. Pause. Hopping in during editing here to say that while the riot is still pretty much ongoing in the subreddit, it has been quelled in the Discord by the fact of either the devs or mods hid or deleted all channels where anyone could speak. Mods have completely given up and gone offline. Well, except for Kirby Rocket, who's still properly doing his job and acting like a real mod instead of a power-tripping child. Mad props to him. I only wish that other mods would take a page out of his book. Maybe then this could have been handled much, much better. That's about all I have for the video. All the stuff I have at hand. There's a few theories going on around this, so I'll just put them here to cap the video off. Theory 1, the AI isn't the product. The filter is. Theory 2, the devs are just complete Puritans who hate sex and went about removing it in the most woefully incompetent way possible. Theory 3, the devs did it for money, believing investors would hate it if NSFW was allowed. All of these theories have their merits. All of them have their evidence for and against them. I won't personally tell you which one to believe, as I think that's something you should come up with on your own. In the description of this video, I'll leave links to the pictures I put in so you can view them yourself. I'll also give a few resources that you can look into if you'd like to do further research yourself. For now, though, I think this video is quite done. I may make an update if new info comes out, but you probably shouldn't count on it.